Hey, what's up, you guys? In today's episode of What It's Like to Be Me, I just wanted to give a quick video. This might be stitched in with another one. I just wanted to get it out while it's on my mind. Things that I probably took for granted before I started going through the things that I'm going through a little over a year and a half ago, was being able to get, actually longer than that, because I moved in with my uncle in March of 2023 and never got one single piece of mail except for a solicitation from the fire department association trying to get me to donate to them. And I only got that because they called me and they wanted me to donate, and I told them to send me something, and I gave them the address at my uncle's house just to see if I would receive it, because I had lived in an apartment complex prior to that, and I had informed delivery where, and I've given videos about this before because I have proof of this in one of my earlier videos, but my uncle is big on shredding things. He didn't like his information to be out there. He didn't like to order anything off the internet. He wanted to fly under the radar 100% of the time. Didn't even want to order anything from eBay. He had me order it for him, and then he would give me the money. So super weird, but I just thought at the time that that was the tip of the iceberg as far as how weird things got. But I was just like, he's extremely anal, and he is. But it was among many other things that I would come to realize about him after living in the same house with him again after 30 years. And when I was like a teenager, I lived at my grandmother's house, and he lived with my grandmother until he was in his 50s. So we did overlap there for a little while I was a senior in high school. But yeah, in an apartment complex, I had informed delivery. And for those of you that don't know, it will send you emails and tell you about your packages or your mail that's going to be delivered. And I did that because I lived in building Z, and the mail center was over at the beginning of the complex, over maybe, it was where the pool was, but I would say maybe around building D or E or something like that. So at the very far end of my complex, and I did not want to go check my mail until I knew that there was mail there instead of just going every day. So I signed up for that, and it was so handy, and I tried to have it transferred to his house. Well, when you transfer your address over informed delivery, they send you a PIN number to your old address and to your new address to make sure that it's you that's requesting the change. And when you get that mail, you go back to the website and you enter the PIN number, and then they will start sending you pictures of the mail that's going to be delivered to the new address that you changed your informed delivery to. Well, never got it, requested it a couple of times, even called the post office about it, and then I got a hunch, my intuition, to go look in my uncle's shredder, and lo and behold, at the very top of the shred pile was my informed delivery mail with my PIN number on it, and he had shredded it, and that's how I came to know that he was intercepting my mail. So when I got a call from the fire department association, I requested something to come directly there and not, anything that was being forwarded from my old address. And of course I got that, but that was the one and only piece of mail that I ever got there, other than Amazon packages that I would order for my baking business. So I only got that. Everything else was intercepted. My new PayPal card that was mailed out after the old one expired. I had food stamps when I moved in there, and then they send you the paperwork so that you can send in all of your information again so that you can keep getting food stamps. So I missed out on that. So my food stamps got canceled. A variety of things that I know that were mailed to me for sure were mailed to me there. And even one thing that was mailed to my son, that I had to specifically ask him for and let him know that it was for my son and not me. And oh, it just happened to be in his bedroom. So anyway, long journey as far as getting my mail. And then I got locked out of his house, illegal eviction, and everything is still there. Like I mentioned in my last video and other videos, I've talked about this many times. But upon being forced into homelessness, I lived at approximately 3 different hotels. And from, he locked me out on November 30th, 2023. So from November to, I want to say the end of June of 2024, I lived in one hotel. No, sorry. This doesn't really matter, but I lived in one hotel for maybe, I want to say, a little over a month. And then the second hotel for months and months. And then the last hotel for a couple of months, 3 months maybe. And then I went camping for 3 months. And throughout that whole time, I realized that you can sign up for something that's called general delivery. And I know a lot of people know about this because when I worked at a call center, there were lots of people that had their mail as general delivery I helped people out of Washington and Oregon and stuff like that. So they were getting their general delivery up there. So general delivery is like a post office box, except for the post office that's designated in your area to do general delivery. And ours here in Chattanooga is the downtown post office. They will hold your mail. You have to come and check it in person every 30 days to keep eligibility for that. They won't check it for you over the phone. So I would have to get up really early. And the motels that I stayed at were on the very opposite end of Chattanooga from that post office. So I would have to make many trips to the downtown post office, and I loved the lady there. She has since retired. What's up, Jane, if you ever see this? But she was a sweetheart, and I miss her so much, but she always kept good track of my mail. And I would just go to the post office every week, every few days, if I was expecting something, and I would get my mail like that. And then I got an apartment at the end of October 2024, and I have been in this apartment, got it all ready for stable residence for my son to come here, and got him his own room like I was told he needed to have. Had a bed made for him and donated. That was wonderful. Shout out to Sleep in Heavenly Peace. They make beds. It's wonderful. So I got all of that ready and moved in here, like I said, end of October last year. So I've been here since then. And I thought, naively, hey, I can get mail here. So my wallet was stolen out of my purse sometime, let's see, I got a new one on July 5th. So a couple of days, or the day before, July 5th, 2024, my wallet was stolen out of my purse at the park. So I didn't have any of my cards. I didn't have any of my social security card, my license, several things. So I had to slowly get my cards reissued to me and mailed to the general delivery address. I went right away, like the day after or a couple of days after, to get my license renewed. They give you these, they used to give you this copy of your license that looked just like the license, a color copy of it, and then they would mail you the one in the mail. And so they wouldn't send it to general delivery, and they don't forward them. So I knew that the hard copy of my new license would be sent to my uncle's house, because that was the last known address for me that I had my address changed to for my license and the registration on my car. So I have spoken about it before, that my license that I had before it got stolen was me with dark red hair, because I had it dyed for a few years, and I looked rather annoyed in it. And the address on that license was Premium Drive. And so I have made mention that if anybody tried to use that after July the 5th or around July the 4th of 2024, that it was not me using it. And so I got a new license, which this is what it looks like. And that was the one that I got after my wallet was stolen. And I know that the hard copies got delivered to my uncle's house, so I know that he has that. And this one, so I've just been going off of this one because it looks like a license. It's just a paper copy. But I tried to go and get my social security card replaced, and they will not take these paper copies. They have to have a hard copy of your license before they will reissue you with a new social security card. So I was like, all right, well, since I have a permanent address, let me go back, because I can prove that I live here with my utility bills. So I went back to the driver's license place and requested a new license. And because it was so close to me being on the renewal line, my license expires November 8th of this year. So I went ahead and had it renewed, and a duplicate, whatever, same time, same place, with my new address, which is area code 37406. So first license that was stolen, Premium Drive, annoyed facial expression, dark red hair. The duplicate that went to my uncle's with a Valleybrook Circle, which was a hellish time in my life, a crazy little golf community. Whew, little Stepford situation there. I don't even know what they got going on, but it was weird as hell. So anyway, that license, the hard copy of that, was sent to my uncle's. So I never got that. I knew I wasn't ever going to get it. So I just kept using this one until they wouldn't let me get my social security card. Then when I went to request my new one with my new address, I have, hold on, let me flip this around because I don't want to get all the information. I renewed it, and the new expiration date is April. So I renewed it on April 28th of this year, and it expires April 28th of 2033. My hair is really long and very curly and poofy, and they tell you that the new one has to be mailed, but I do live at this permanent address now, so it has to be mailed. They said it would be here within 30 days. Well, now 30 days has come and gone. Every time I go to check my mail, the door to it is already open. There's 4 apartments here where I live, and none of the other ones are open, but mine is always like wide open. So I kind of knew, I had another hunch that I was never going to get this license, and it has the time is come and gone for it to have enough time to get here in the 30 days. And so I just wanted to put that out there, because if anybody uses a hard copy of any of those 3 licenses, it's not me, because I haven't had a hard copy of my license since July, maybe 4th or whatever the weekend was of July 4th. I believe it was a Saturday that my wallet got stolen from my purse in the park. That I haven't had a hard copy of any license since July, the beginning of July last year. So if anybody is using a hard copy of any of those licenses, it is not me, because I have not had it in my possession whatsoever. I don't know. There's been a lot of things that have happened in my life, and mail has been the least of my worries. I don't know why for sure that my uncle was intercepting my mail to begin with and how all of that started, but it was one of the things that sent things off the rails, because I was like, why? What is he trying to keep me from getting? And he had already asked me if someone had served me with like certified mail, mail that you would have to sign for. A civil servant had found me at my apartment complex before, like when I moved into, no, it was before I moved into his place. I was just over there doing something for him. And I thought that was weird, because I was like, I had been in a car accident that I had to go to court over because I wasn't insured. And they found me just fine to serve me papers for that. So I was like, if anybody's looking for me, they know where I live. They know my apartment because I just got served there for this accident. So why would anybody be here looking for me, trying to serve me with something? Well, I don't know. I'm just asking. So he would never tell me about that. And then when I did move in over there, I would never get any of my mail. So I don't know what he was intercepting, why he was intercepting, why this all started where I'm not getting mail. But I thought that me having my apartment here, that all of that would have ended. But I had been signing every time, like I think every 3 months, a forwarding address request will expire. So the whole time that I had been getting my general delivery at the downtown post office, every couple of months I would fill out a new forwarding request for mail. Any mail sent to my uncle's address would come to general delivery. And I would also, once I got this address for my apartment, I started filling out for forwarding mail to come from anything sent to my uncle's address to this new address, the 37406. And never got anything forwarded. Now, when it was tax time for me to get my W-2s, I never got a W-2 from my last job, but I had my last paycheck, so I could use that when I filed my taxes. Miraculously, the job that I had before that, while I was living in the hotels, I worked in Cleveland at a call center, and I had used my uncle's address, and miraculously, that W-2 ended up in my mailbox here. No forwarding label on it at all, just someone had put it in my mailbox. So I was grateful because it allowed me to file my taxes. But who put that there? And where is my new license? Why is my mailbox always open? I did have some mail, I would say in December sometime. December or early, no, it was early January, I think. Sometime in January, I had mail put directly on my door, and I had gotten up. I knew it was there. I heard the person knock, and I had a feeling that they had left something on my door, but I hadn't gone and opened it yet. I was fixing my coffee. I was getting ready to wake up for the day. This is when I was not on decaf yet. And I was standing in my kitchen, and I could hear my neighbor that's right next to me come out to leave for the day, and I heard her take the mail off my door, and I could see the shadow underneath the door. And so I went over to the door, and I looked out the peephole, and I saw her open my mail and read it. Now, it wasn't an envelope, but it was folded up, and she opened it up and read it, and then she put it back. And then she took it off again and opened it up again. I guess she didn't read enough, or she wanted to know what else was in the letter. So she read it again. I've never said anything to that neighbor. I just know her when I see her, that she is all in my business for whatever reason. The first night that I was here, first full night that I was here in October of last year, she came home and she knocked on my door, and it was like 11:30 or almost midnight. And I was like, why are they knocking on my door? Like, I haven't even met any of my neighbors yet. And she said, oh, I just wanted to make sure that it was really a renter in there and not a squatter or a frogger. And I was like, no, I was asleep already, but let me come and let you know that I am your new neighbor, and I am not a squatter or a frogger, that I actually live here. Oh, well, there was a lockbox on the door. And I was like, well, I've only been here for a day, so they haven't had a chance to come and take it off yet, but I'll let them know to take it off so that you're not sketched out. And I did. I emailed them and said, can you please come take the lockbox off of my door? And it took them a few days, but they did. But I had to let her know that I really lived here and I'm legit. And then it was, 3 months later, 2 months later, she was taking my mail off my door to read it. So yeah, just to let you know, just before I forget, this might be a standalone video. It might be not. I might put it with something else, but I wanted to get it documented before I forget, because these are the things that happen to you when you're going with the flow in your life and people try to just impede your way. You're just going about your business, trying to live, trying to get out from under the thumb of controlling individuals that, have tried to play God in your life, that it still follows you. There's still peons of these organizations that will still be in your business and try to control your life. And the best thing that you can do is just keep pushing, because eventually they will have to raise the reins when they don't get anywhere. And God has the ultimate say. God is in control. Anything and in everything that He allows is a test for you or them. And He sees everything. He knows everything. He hears everything. He knows what's in their heart. He formulates this plan. You and God have co-created this before you ever incarnated into this life. And I believe that with every fiber of my being, because I am a true testament to what happens when you follow your intuition and you connect to your higher self and you let God lead the way. You have to let go. Give it all up to Him and give Him the ultimate control, because the only thing that you're in control of is yourself and how you react. And they want to have control. That illusion of control that they are overdosing on, because it's leading them to their very demise, whether they know it or not. They're being tested. They're failing the test. What you have to do is stay in control of yourself. I have made videos in the past where I have exposed the things that have happened to me, and it just gave them more ammunition to call me crazy, because they wanted to invalidate anything that I was saying or doing and making it look like it was all in my head, even though I have proof of a lot of these things. Even others that had reached out to me that said they knew that this was going on, because they knew people that were recruited into this, into being, peons and trying to know and be involved and intimidate and incite fear and incite paranoia and all this stuff. And the best thing that you can do is to keep your head high and keep doing you, baby. Don't react negatively. I'm never gonna say anything to my neighbor. Chances are, if I'm right about why she's nosy and why she's been Uber in my business, or whoever, has checked my mail or read mail off of my door, or felt the need to knock and find out who I am in my own apartment when I had every right to be here. That could have been done during a reasonable hour of the day and not at midnight, but okay, I let it slide. I'm never going to be in her face or why are you doing this to me or anything. I'm not going to approach her. I'm not going to be confrontational about it to her. I'm just going to let her do her. You have to let them, because that's how God tests everyone. You are being tested in how you handle it and how you hold your head high and keep going on about your way, because you are doing nothing wrong except for following God's divine plan for your life. You hold the power. The minute that you react, the minute that you confront, the minute that you get upset about it or let it affect your life at all in any way, and I don't mean just speaking your truth, because that's all I'm doing right now. I'm speaking my truth in a very calm, collected, evidentiary kind of way. But the minute that you do anything else other than that, you give your power away. And then they get what they wanted. They got the information that they wanted. They got your mail that they wanted. They got a reaction out of you. You lost your cool. You lowered your vibrations. You did all of the things that their plan and their little steps and concocted enterprise, whatever they're running, whatever they're affiliated with, whatever makes them feel powerful and in control. You gave your power away to them. You let it make you paranoid. That was the thing. They wanted to get me into this psychological evaluation because they thought that the tests, the questions that they ask for these psychological evaluations, I would automatically fail because they would have made me, seeing now what the questions were on the test, that it would have made me fall into a trap by answering questions on the test in a way that would make me seem like a paranoid schizophrenic. And because I didn't let it affect me, because I didn't resonate with the questions that they wanted me to answer to put me in that category, it didn't affect me that way. I had learned long ago to shut my brain off to any of those things that they were trying to do to me. The fear, the paranoia, I'm being watched, I'm being monitored, I don't care. I just put them in the category as paparazzi, because for you to be on someone's radar and in plans and schemes that big, you have to be a big deal. You have to be a big deal. Most of them are just there to, be the peon. They're low level in the scheme. They are low level. They've long sold their soul. They are trying to climb the ranks in these organizations, and the only way that they can do it is by carrying out their instructions, gaining brownie points or whatever, because the ones that set this in motion, they don't want to get their hands dirty. They're going to use as many people underneath them, the Diddies, the people under Diddy, the handlers, whoever. They want them to get their hands dirty so that anything goes south, they can throw them under the bus. They can cut them loose so that nothing ever comes back to the higher ups in these kinds of schemes, in these kinds of organizations. They don't want anything to come back to them, so they have to use other people. They have to brainwash you and make you think that this person is bad and that everything that you're doing is warranted and is needed because this is a bad person. They've done bad things, or they're dangling the carrot that if you do these things for me, you get me what I need, you stop them from this, that, and the third, then we'll do this for you. So, a lot of promises, a lot of empty promises, a lot of playing you for dumb, because if you get caught, they will not know you in a heartbeat, and you will go down for things you shouldn't have been doing, that they don't want to ever be traced back to them. So you have to ignore it. You have to ignore it, because the minute that I didn't let any of these things bother me, and I passed my psychological evaluation with flying colors. He said that it was inconclusive because they expected me, per the reports that they were given, they expected me to answer differently, but it didn't affect me like they wanted it to affect me. So my answers were not the expected answers. So they saw that my high IQ, 90th percentile, conflicted with the answers that they thought that I should give based on what I had gone through, that it was inconclusive. But they couldn't use this anymore. It became obsolete. The psych evaluation was basically, and I can talk about this because it wasn't brought into court, it was basically considered a hot potato. It was like the person that ordered it, oh, I don't have it. Nobody has it. I've not seen it, even though the state had it and they showed it to my attorney. But it never came into actual hands of the person that ordered it. And so, we don't know where it is. So we're just not going to address it because it didn't come out the way that they wanted it to come out. They couldn't use it. They couldn't request it. They could have gone a million different ways to get this that would have been in their hands in 2 seconds. But they acted like it was in no man's land, or that it was my responsibility to get it to someone when I never got it to the first person that had it in the first place. It wasn't my responsibility, but we don't know where it is now because they couldn't use it to their advantage. It didn't turn out how they wanted. So as long as you keep in control of yourself and you don't let any of these things affect you in the way that they're trying to work behind the scenes to get it to affect you, to come out in their favor and fit their narrative, they don't have anything. You hold all the power, my dear, every single bit of it. So let go and let God, and you keep your calm and your cool and just keep going about your path in your purpose, because God put you there for a reason. You were the one. He's prepared you for this. Every second of your life before this that might not have made sense will all come into accumulation and make perfect sense once you're in your purpose, because all of it was done to you, unbeknownst to you, to prepare you for this very moment that you're walking into right now. You'll be like, oh, this is why. This is why that job that didn't work out, that I learned this and this from, and I thought, well, why did I even do that? It was a waste of time. This is why I did that, because some of that came into play here. Or this from when I was 12, or this job that I worked that gave me all this medical billing knowledge. All of these things that were meant to trap you. You were taught things way long before you were ever put in that situation that helped you to survive and strive and thrive during those things that were meant to set you up, because they were a test. They were a test. Or are you going to draw from that knowledge? Are you going to use it to your best ability? Are you going to stay calm and trust me and just control yourself? Because that's the only thing you ever really have control over. Because like I've said, the only thing that can keep you from your blessings is you messing it up for yourself by giving up or going back to the low vibrational version of yourself that has ascended out of that because you prayed for more. You prayed. You were tired of that. You were tired of getting the same end result, the dead ends, the hurt feelings, the abuse, the just dead, tired, raked over the coals version of yourself. Wanted more, wanted better. You knew that it was out there and you prayed for God to bring it. And you better be ready, because be careful what you pray for. You just might get it, because you don't know how God's going to get you there. It's not a straight line. It's not linear. It's this way and that way and this way and through a hurricane and through the mud. And it's not a straight line. You hold on to God's hand tight, because he's going to flip you every which way to get you there. But it's all going to make sense in the end. You just have control over yourself, and you don't give your power away, because he's testing them. He sees everything that they're doing and why they're doing it. It doesn't have to make sense to you. It's none of your business. It's none of my business why that girl took my mail off of my door. It's none of my business why I have no hard copy of my license in close to a year. It's none of my business why somebody took my purse. God had told me to memorize my debit card long before that, and I had it in memory to add to my wallet and my phone, and that's how I was able to buy things that I needed until I got my first debit card. And I did it one by one. I got one, then I'd replace another. I got another, then I replaced another, so that I had canceled them. I had the card in my wallet. I had a way to survive. God knows what he's doing. Trust him. He's going to get you there. Listen to your intuition. Even if you don't have a reason why you're being nudged to memorize a debit card number, do it. Do it. Even if you might never use it. If you have the hunch to memorize that card, do it. If you have the hunch to look through somebody's shredder for mail that you didn't get, look at it. It's probably there. Like, God is amazing, and he has a sense of humor. So you keep your bearings, and you keep listening to him, and you keep moving forward and doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't get involved in all the things that they're doing. Take notice, collect evidence, document it, put it. That's why I've done this channel, to help others and to keep everything documented, every point along the way. I knew that it needed to be documented, and it'll all make sense in the end. But as long as you keep control of yourself and you listen to Him, they don't have anything. I love you. God loves you. You're never alone. See ya.